Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces.
Because Kobe's the 8th greatest player ever, and he was never the best player in the world.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
That 48 special by LeBron in 2007. LeBron was the best player in the world from that moment until 2018.
Needed one take.
Who's the best player in the NBA?
Kobe Bryant.
Better than you?
I would have to say right now.
2012, Nick Wright himself tweeted out the best players he has ever seen in his life. Michael Jordan was 1, Kobe Bryant was 2, LeBron James was 7.
Hey, Philip, please get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Message.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Tyler Rose TV. As you can see, we have a special guest today, Jay Skapanak from Skap Attack on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen his videos, check him out. One of my favorite guys on YouTube, knows his stuff. A big Kobe fan, as I know a lot of my subscribers are, so definitely check him out. I'll link his channel down below here as well. But Jay, thanks for joining the channel. We got a lot of interesting topics to go over today. How you feeling today? How's it going?
My pleasure, Tyler. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. Always love talking NBA, and in particular, any topics that might overlap with the late, great Kobe Bryant. As you guys can see behind me, I'm a huge fan. He's my favorite, not just my favorite basketball player, but my favorite athlete ever across all different sports. So I got to get on here with you, Tyler, and we got to talk about this idiocy that's going on around his name.
Of course. And we'll start there, ladies and gentlemen. I'll run a clip for you guys, and then me and Jay will get into it. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe and hit the bell, and let's do it.
This will be something I'm telling Paul right now. Use your judgment on. This will get aggregated, clipped, and it will do numbers. People get so mad at this take, but the problem with this take is I know it is correct. And it's why but it is so, it makes people so mad that I don't really lean into it because I don't really have the, what's the word? I just sometimes get tired of arguing about it. But greatest players ever. Let me just, Bron, Kareem, Michael, Russell, Magic, Wilt, Duncan, Kobe. So I guess the answer is number 8. Because Kobe's the 8th greatest player ever, and he was never the best player in the world. I know people get mad at that take, but here's the problem, and the reason Kobe was never the best player in the world. Because once Kobe got great, call it 99. He wasn't great yet, but I'll give him 90. Once you started seeing flashes. From 99 until 2002, Shaquille O'Neal was the best player in the world. And then from 2003 until 2007, Tim Duncan was the best player in the world. You know how I know Tim Duncan was the best player in the world at that time? Because he won 3 championships in 5 years. He won 2 MVPs. He was the best player. He was the best player until that 48 special by LeBron in 2007. LeBron was the best player in the world from that moment until 2018. So it was Shaq, it was Duncan, it was then Bron. At no point was Kobe the best player in the world. 8th greatest player ever, never the best player in the world. People get very mad at me. Show me the year. Show me the season. Show me when he was. And people will be like, what about 2006? It's like, well, I don't know. Best player in the world, losing round 1. What about 2007? I don't know. Best player in the world, blow a 3-1 lead in round 1. What about 2005? I don't know. Best player in the world, missed the playoffs? Probably not. So the answer is Kobe. Next.
You know, Jay, I'll kick it to you first. I have some thoughts on this, but ultimately, you're my guest, and I'm a guy of respect and manners. So I want to share the floor with you and kind of just chime in on your thoughts on him saying Kobe was never the best basketball player ever in the NBA at one point in time.
Yeah, well, ridiculous, obviously, outrageous. And honestly, Nick Wright himself doesn't even believe this take. The reason he can't think of the word to use of why he doesn't want to get into it with people, the reason why he just waffles around it is because he knows he can't defend it himself and he doesn't believe it. I know he doesn't believe it, Tyler, because there is a famous tweet percolating around. The internet is made of stone. It is etched in stone. You can delete it. You can try to move away from it, but someone will have screen grabbed it. And in 2012, Nick Wright himself tweeted out the best players he has ever seen in his life. Michael Jordan was 1, Kobe Bryant was 2, LeBron James was 7. So, and then Shaq was below Kobe at that point. Duncan was below Kobe at that point. So what exactly happened between 2012 and now that all of a sudden Kobe is below Shaq, below Duncan, what exactly happened? Well, probably Nick Wright is a paid agent for Clutch Sports and LeBron James, and now he has to toe this company line, which is to discredit Kobe Bryant. And there is an argument, though, Tyler. I will accept that there is an argument. To me, Kobe and Shaq were the best 2 players in the world from like 01 to roughly like 03. I think you could have, honestly, quite frankly, you could have gone with either player, Shaq or Kobe. Duncan is in the mix. Those are the 3 best players in the NBA at that point in time. Then right around 03, in my estimation, Kobe Bryant does ascend and become the best player on planet Earth till around 2010. Because look, in part of his explanation, Nick Wright goes on to say, oh, well, do you know how I know Tim Duncan was the best player from 03 to 07? Because he won 2 league MVPs and 3 championships in that span. Okay, well, let's apply his same logic from 08 through 10 then. Kobe won an MVP and went to 3 consecutive NBA finals and won back-to-back championships with a fringe one-time All-Star at that point in Pau Gasol. Kobe became the only player in NBA history to score 600 points in 3 straight postseasons. No one's ever done it. Not Jordan, not LeBron, nobody. Over that time, Kobe became the only player in league history still to this day to win back-to-back titles with no other top 75 players. So you're telling me that a guy in that 3-year span wasn't the best player in the NBA? Stop it. Just stop the nonsense, Nick. And the Lakers were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference those 3 years in a row, by far the more difficult conference than where LeBron was lurking in the East. And Kobe was the one in a conference where the 8 seeds were like at 50 wins over that span of time. So overall, Tyler, and I'll throw it back to you, Kobe Bryant in a decade span led the NBA in scoring, points scored, and averaged. That was in a time where Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson were prime. That was in a time, in talking in average, that you would include Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Kobe Bryant led in average and total scored over that span.
Yep.
A time where he was all-NBA first-team defense, like seven years out of 10, and second-team defense in 2 of the other years. So 9 of the 10 years of that decade, all NBA defense, and he was going to 7 finals rounds and winning 5, and you're going to tell me not even 1 year you wouldn't be able to slither Kobe in as the best player on earth? It's absolute nonsense. Nick Wright knows it is, and that's why he doesn't want to spend too much time on it and gets in and out of that take very quick.
I agree, Skap. And another thing that I want to mention, and I'm sure you've seen it, but the funniest part, one of them was the fact that he skipped over 2008 to 2010. He just conveniently stopped at 2007. But one thing that has surfaced, at least for me, and I've seen this interview, it's a 60-minute interview with LeBron, right, Skap? And LeBron says, who's the best player in the NBA? He says, right now, I'd say Kobe Bryant.
He just one take.
Who's the best player in the NBA?
Kobe Bryant.
Better than you.
I would have to say right now. He's a really, really good player. Individually, he has some of the best skills that the NBA has ever seen in history.
So Nick Wright wants to, push a narrative down your throat, but LeBron himself wouldn't even admit that he was the best player in basketball. He wasn't the best player in the NBA. And then, of course, you get into the postseason record. Obviously Duncan's great. We're never going to, dismiss that Duncan wasn't a great power forward, but Kobe has a winning record against him in the games that matter the most. I believe it's 18-12. Like I said, more points in the decade and more championships in that decade for the 2000s. It's just interesting how, we know why people's opinions change so much, but it's sad because we look, and not us, but many people who are, casual viewers maybe listen to a guy like Nick Wright and they think, well, Nick Wright is on TV and Nick Wright has all these, sports, Fox Sports and all these, great companies he works for. And you think that you can trust, their word, like Shannon Sharp as well. And I think that's the most disappointing thing is that people actually believe what these guys are spewing out of their mouth. And for me, another one of the most underrated things about the fact that Kobe was existing in the same decade as Tim Duncan, it was that 2007 championship when he swept LeBron pathetically. Kobe beat him in a 4-1 gentleman's sweep, and I looked into that series. He shot 11 free throws for the whole entire series. So he was able to stop them from ever repeating ever. Kobe was, when he had a squad that was viable to win games, his team was pretty much always competing for championships. And later on in Tim Duncan's career, we go look at his last two championships, 2007 and 2014, he's not really even the main focal point. Tony Parker wins the 2007 Finals MVP, and then Kawhi wins the 2014 MVP. And at that point, Duncan's a shell of himself, and we're not even looking at him as he used to be. He kind of became a role player. It's not fair that two of Tim Duncan's rings where he doesn't get Finals MVP, he's no slack. But if Kobe doesn't get Finals MVP, he gets carried. But Duncan doesn't get carried by Parker or Kawhi Leonard, who was one of the best two-way players. Arguably, I think Kawhi Leonard, if he was healthy, I think we can make a case for him being a just as good or not way better of a player legacy wise than a Kevin Durant, or even maybe might be pushing it maybe in close to a Curry. If he doesn't get hurt and he maybe wins a few more championships, who knows? But let's move on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Speculating on one LeBron James and his use of illegal banned substances.